Hi and welcome to this week's energy forecast. I am Rachael Phillips, the creator of the VU Oracle cards, along with the creator of the Intuition Alignment online program. This week's forecast is for July the 9th through to July the 15th. So this week, there's been so many, and there still will be so much planetary action going on at the moment. And so I really wanted to find a way to be able to call in the energy that's occurring at the moment to be able to understand how can we navigate through this time. So as I was shuffling with the cards, that was my exact question. How can people navigate through the energies that are occurring right now? And these are the cards that have come up. So Monday to Tuesday is the card of frustration. The Wednesday through to Friday is card of dreams. Saturday and Sunday is the card of hope. So let's go in and find out a little bit more around what's happening. So Monday and Tuesday is about frustration. Now, what occurs for people at this time is that while so many things are coming to the surface, we can find that we get so internalized and very, very frustrated. Whereas if we learn to be able to go and dig a little bit deeper to discover what is it that is really making you frustrated, you'll usually find that there will be some form of component where you are actually have become unaware that you may be potentially holding yourself back in some area. And so that frustration is playing out in other ways and in other areas of our life. But if we learn to delve that little bit deeper, go past the superficial things, and actually ask the question of where am I holding myself back, that's going to give you so much insight. Because remember, when you are being true to yourself and following what you think is your pathway towards your own happiness, that is where you generate the most amazing energy about your own self. But when we're putting obstacles in our way and we're putting excuses and maybe detouring off in a different direction, frustration will come up because it's an intuitive guidance that is coming through to you to say you're not being true to you and you're not doing things to fulfill your own happiness. And even though we think that we can suppress those and put those into that little, Pandora's box, we can only hide from this component within our own self for a short period of time before it starts rearing its head in lots of different ways. And this is how it's doing it. It is presenting you with frustration so that you reach that level where you can, for some people, if you stay in that place of suppressing and pushing things down for a long time, that frustration will escalate to a place where you just go, you know what, I've had enough of everything. And in that moment is that moment that you truly do surrender. And then you've got that clear mind to be able to then start asking curious questions as to what is it that it's going to take for you to be happy. And boom, the light comes on again. And this is what your soul is trying to reveal to you this week, is to be able to go in and question and delve a little bit deeper below the surface to discover where are you holding yourself back. Because even though we have all of these amazing planetary things that are occurring, a lot of the planets are about getting true to yourself, being true to you, following your purpose, finding out what that purpose is. And how we find that out is by just being curious and explorative. Breaking through some of those thresholds that we've put there and those obstacles, and leaning into that uncomfortability when we are transitioning and making so many changes in our world. And it's important to be able to understand that. Then with Wednesday and through till Friday, once you've got to the core of what your frustration is, where you're holding yourself back, that's where your dreams, you start really breathing life into your dreams again, and you start going, you know what, I can make these things happen. And with dreams come along with believing in yourself. And that is the key for this week, is learning to continue to believe. Because when you believe in yourself, you become unstoppable. Things start moving out of the way that were once obstacles. The pathway starts becoming clear. You have a renewed sense of optimism and vitality within your own self. You just start turning up and showing up being the truest version of yourself, and allowing your soul to communicate to you on how to do that through lots of different intuitive cues. So look out for signs and synchronicities, because they'll also give great insight into helping you stay in the direction of wanting to follow your dreams. But as I said, remember, all of this starts with learning to believe in yourself. And that's really, really key to anything that you do. As you continue to believe in yourself, you open up that channel of hope and faith and belief. And if you have those qualities and essences within your own self where you truly go in and honor them, and remember, try not to focus on the outcome. And what do I mean by that is, sometimes we can set in place that when we fulfill our dreams, that our dreams must become in this exact same way, in this perfect box, blah, blah, blah. And we can forget sometimes that our dreams can turn up, but they can turn up sometimes a little bit differently than what we thought. But if we don't allow that expansion in our consciousness, we can actually, as humans, think that our dreams haven't turned up. Or if they have turned up, they're not the way that we want them to be, and they're not structured, and they're not blah, blah, blah. And we put so much confinement on our dreams, and therefore our ability to manifest becomes so increasingly small. And therefore, sometimes we think that, we're not being able to manifest what we want, whereas we are, but you're putting too much pressure on everything for it to just show up a certain way. Remember, set your dreams free and allow them to show up, and just bring awareness every single time you have consciousness around this. Now, this goes through till Friday. So I know that on the 12th of July, so of today, so it must be around 14th, 13th, 12th. So it must be around Thursday is when the new moon comes in, which is where we have the dreams. So our dreams are about, and with the new moon is about making sure that we set powerful intentions. Take that moment to be able to connect in with your rituals of what you do around a new moon, because remember, our intention is about the energy that we bring to the things that we want to be able to manifest, and get absolutely so clear on them that you can see them, feel them, touch them, know them, so that when they show up, you have complete awareness that they're turning up exactly how you wanted them to, in the fact of your dreams are just turning up true. So let me give an example. Say, for example, you are wanting to, I'll just use a business example. Say you want to excel your business, and you look at the acceleration, and say that you want to accelerate your clientele by 15, but you get 10 or even 8. That's still an acceleration of growth. So don't underestimate, maybe just because you didn't hit 15 this time round, that your dreams didn't turn up. They turned up. But just allow that little bit more breathing space with them, and therefore you'll find that you'll have more fun. And it's so important that as you set these intentions with the new moon, that we think about the vibe and the energy that you want to bring to your own self. Because remember, when we set goals and we set intentions, and they are all around our dreams and desires, it's about making sure that we have doing components along with beingness. We need to grow into the person that we want to be to match the dreams that we want to do. So this is where we need to be able to take a look at, are we still doing things that are allowing your own self to continue to grow and expand, not just always in a doing sense, but in a beingness sense. That's so incredibly vital. And that's where that component of belief, because that's an internal mechanism within you. You can't go to the shop and you can't buy belief. You can't do something to make yourself believe in yourself. You believe in yourself first, and then it shows up by doing the things afterwards, and that helps you to continue to believe in yourself. And we are being brought so much more into that awareness of whether we are truly believing in ourselves or whether we aren't. There doesn't seem to be any sort of like middle ground at this point, and it's a matter of like being that, as I was saying, leaning into that uncomfortability. When you start making that beautiful transition into learning to believe in your own self, it's going to feel uncomfortable, it's going to feel foreign, and that's where we've got to be patient with ourselves to lean into that uncomfortability and just keep moving, just keep going, and just use that internal mechanism of believing in your own self to be that motivator, that driver that keeps you going towards the direction of your dreams. And they are different for every single person. So getting that clarity on your dreams is going to be so incredibly important, because as we become more consciously aware of our dreams, then what we're actually doing on an internal level is we're honoring and validating what are things that are so very important to you as a person, and that shows up differently for every single person. And we have different wants and needs in different areas and spectrums in our world, so it's important to be able to understand that. Some person's importance for following their dreams in business is going to be different than someone that wants to focus on having children and building a really nice solid foundation for their family. Now, one person's dreams is not better or stronger or more valid than the other person. It's just important that you understand what your dreams mean for you, on how is that going to impact your world, how is that going to help you grow, learn and develop, how is that going to benefit other people from you fulfilling your dreams. And that is so important, because every time you fulfill your dreams, you are giving permission for other people that know you and that surround themselves with your energy and your vibe to know that they can follow suit. Because remember, each one of us are important leaders in this world in lots of different ways, and people are always learning by your example. Now it's that example to take that level of belief to a whole new level this month, and it all starts with that internal work. So my greatest affirmation for this week is I believe in me. And remember, that rewiring that internal mechanism and that internal conversation that you have with yourself is going to align with your actions as well. And so the more that we can rewire our subconscious mind, the more that we start to have more alignment with our mind, body, soul and spirit. So it's an incredibly exciting week this week for knowing how to be able to navigate through all of the lots of different planetary actions that are going on, and remembering the key component this week is learning to believe in yourself. So I wish you an amazing week. Much love to you all, and take care.